Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Grossman Files. Hey, we got a great one for you today. Yes, we got a great one for you. Actually, I don't have a clue whether it's going to be great. The truth is, today I'm going off on a limb. I'm taking my chances against you crazy Rush fans out there. You oddly conformist bunch of social misfits. And I count myself as one of you. Not the latter part, but the former part, the Rush fan. And so I had a lot on my mind about this tour, and I've been keeping my mouth shut, watching some other people stick their toe into the water of criticizing Rush. Some actually jumped right into the pool and got roasted for it. So I was like, damn, do I really want to put myself out there as one of the very few Rush fans willing to speak up in defense of the trees? Much like the Lorax in the famous Dr. Seuss book, I am speaking for the trees. And I'm speaking, of course, for the true Rush, the only Rush. Yeah, I know John Rutsey was in the band. Who gives a shit? Rush was Peart, Lee, and Lifeson. And of course, we'll get into my thoughts on this. Just one man's opinion. If you don't like it, feel free to disagree. Write a nasty comment if you like. Whatever. In fact, I'm going to put in a link to call in later if you want to have a conversation about this, because I am personally actually very perplexed, mystified, disappointed, sad, at this debacle called the 50-something tour. And I was actually very into it when they first announced it. I was one of the many people saying, yeah, great, this is the way to honor Neil. And they couldn't have picked a better drummer. They got somebody off the plantation. They got somebody who wasn't a Neil Peart fan. It's perfect. It's the best way to throw a little screwball into the mix. And isn't that what Rush is all about? Not being conformist and doing things what people expect. And nobody expected Annika Nilles. I think that's how you pronounce her name. I'm not going to sit here and worry about it. And people called Peart Pert for like 40 years and, whatever. So, I was totally into it. And then I started seeing the video clips. And at that point, it was all over for me. And so we have a lot to get to today. And so let's just get started. What's up, my man Derek Larson of the world and my man Cult of Clever in the world. Happy 4th of July to all y'all, people of the planet. So real quick, of course, some of you who are watching, actually most of you who are watching this have no idea who I am, as you shouldn't. I'm a total nobody. The truth is that I'm just a Rush fan like you. I'll get just into a little bit of my bona fides just to satisfy the other Rush fans out there who may disagree with me. And I think there's a lot of you out there, although I think that a lot of you do agree with me. And I think you're just afraid to say it because of all the crazy conformity that you see out there. Annika's killing it. Yeah, she's killing it, all right. Killing the legacy of this band with seemingly tacit approval from Geddy and Alex as they sort of bumble, fumble, stumble, and laugh their way through this thing. And so I got some issues that we're going to talk about. What's going on, my man Nick? Thanks for being here. So so most of you have no clue who I am. You don't give a shit. You shouldn't give a shit. But my name's Manny. I have a few thousand subscribers here on YouTube. And my main claim to fame on YouTube is that I'm a true crime researcher with a specific focus on the Son of Sam crimes. Why? It's a long story. It's so boring. I'm not going to get you into it. But we took this thing very far. It's going so far actually to appear. It's almost a year ago today that it came out. I starred in Conversations with a Killer, the Son of Sam tapes on Netflix, which you could always stream. And of course, in 2024, we created a history in true crime by finding the true first victim. Before his official first victim, we found a woman named Wendy Savino, who was shot several months before in the same area in the Bronx, and long story there. But so we have quite a thing going on with YouTube in the Sam sphere. But I'm also a Rush fan. And this picture was taken in 1988, just showing you how far back this Rush head goes. Some of you might be confused. You might think that I'm in my 30s. I get that a lot. I'm actually 53 years old. I go back to Rush to 1987. I got into them right after Hold Your Fire. And the funny thing is that I actually thought I was a poser for years, because I was like, yo, I didn't really get into them in the golden era. I got into them too late. I'm a tourist with Rush. I didn't go see them on the Moving Pictures tour or 2112 or any of these tours. And the simple answer is I didn't. And I'm very jealous of those of you who did. I wish I had those stories. My first concert of Rush was, I think it was at the Brendan Byrne Arena. Not sure, but it was definitely the Presto tour. And I'm pretty sure I saw them there now that I think about it. I remember driving out there. So, yes, exactly. Subdivisions. Neil Peart was God as a drummer. I have to say that he's not the one that got me into drumming when I was 14. That was Alex Van Halen and actually, oddly enough, Larry Mullen Jr. from U2. Both amazing drummers who on kind of opposite sides of the spectrum there, but both did the beautiful thing that all drummers must do, which is play for the song. And then I was reading Modern Drummer, all about this drummer, Neil Peart, I called him back in those days, and how amazing he was. And I saw his Zildjian ads. So I went out to Roberta's Video City. I rented a VHS copy of Exit Stage Left. And from that moment on, my life was changed. I used to actually wear freaking white dress shirts with red bow ties to school sometimes in honor of my hero, and Peart, as the way he was dressed. So for those of you who might be saying, this guy, he can't talk about Rush. No, who's he? The answer is I go back to Rush from the old days. I am an old head, and the truth is, when it comes to the game of Rush, I have forgotten more than you will ever know. So I have a right to speak about what I see as the actual destruction of one of my favorite band's legacy, and it's being done from within. It's being done by the guys themselves. And I have to say, this tour really opened up a lot of things in my mind about these people, Alex and Geddy, that wouldn't have happened if they had just gone away. Geddy, you were doing great on your book tours. It was awesome watching you and Alex up there at Massey Hall banter back and forth and have these amazing conversations. Now it's just tired and old, man. What is Alex still giving those stupid monologues? Don't even get me started on the blah, blah, blah speech. Guys, we all know maybe it was funny for 3 seconds, but after that, it was cringe. Even my man Peart was cringing in the background. And I have to say, after reading Geddy's book and realizing how much of a cocaine addict he was, and how his seemingly perfect life was really anything but, not that I'm dissing him for that, but like, I don't want to know that these people were human, right? I grew up with these guys, reading about them in magazines if I was lucky. They were mysterious. That was part of the power. All right, I get it. Time marches on. But now we're here at this 50-something tour, and what could have been actually one of the most amazing things to ever take place, because the production is great, the sound is amazing, the visuals, and so on. And I even don't mind the idea of other musicians. I mean, how are you going to do it without other musicians? But I like the idea of what they're doing. but they took an opportunity and they colossally squandered it. And I think the fans, many of them, are pretending to go along because you guys are weirdly, oddly conformist. I don't get it. Yeah, I'm saying it. I'm putting myself out there by saying it. If you don't like it, don't watch. But remember, while I was getting made fun of because Rush was not cool back in these days, and when I was taking my life in my hands, if I went to go see the Cro-Mags wearing a Rush t-shirt back in those days, and oddly and even more dorky, doubly dorky, wearing the Zildjian shirt. That's my sister, by the way. We were up in McGill in Montreal. I don't know whether she wants to be seen or not, so I just blacked her out. But we were taking her up to sophomore year of college. And anyway, so let's get right to the material. So I have several things that I want to talk about. Yeah, I know we're going to be here a little while, but actually I'm going to try to speed it up a little bit because I understand short form videos are all the rage, but I got things to say. And I figure, well, if you don't want to watch, you won't watch. If you're interested, you'll keep watching. Let's have a conversation in the chat about this. So my main issues, of course, there's 7 of them. Let me just take a swig of water over here. And I'm going to name the issues before I start talking about them. First, Geddy said they could never be Rush without Neil. I got an issue with the new drummer. I got serious issues here with Alex's performances. Let's face it, guys. You're kidding yourselves. This one's going to be controversial because it's the first time ever in Rush fan history where this has ever been brought up. This myth is Rush is the greatest people on planet Earth, and maybe they are. I don't know. I don't know them. But they've been lying to me for the last 10 years about things. The reasons for it, we'll get into, but they are liars. And does that have anything to do with this current tour? I don't know. Time will tell. And I have a serious problem, as you've probably already figured out by now, with Rush's oddly uber conformist fan base. Let's start with Geddy said they could never be Rush without Neil. Well, this one's very simple. Geddy is on record saying we can't do this without Neil. Without Neil, it's not Rush. I don't remember exactly where he said that. It was some interview, maybe one of the documentaries. I tried to find it, but I actually don't want to put too many visuals in this. We're going to listen to some music, snippets here and there, making comparisons. But this video, I didn't even want to bother. But if you're a true head of Rush, you know that what I'm saying is true. So what happened? Geddy was doing great. The book, it was a good book. I mean, I read it, then I donated it, whatever. It was all right. I learned more negative things about Geddy that I really didn't need to know, didn't want to know, and has informed the way I'm thinking about him now on this tour and his motivations and what he's thinking. Again, I'm not a psychiatrist, psychologist. I'm not here to diagnose them. I'm one Rush fan giving an opinion. If you don't like it, change the channel. So, dude, that also fits part and parcel with he's a liar. Because if you can't have these two things be true at the same time with our current reality where Rush 3.0 is out on tour, you could never be Rush without Neil. And, all this could have been avoided if you just didn't call yourself Rush. But then again, you wouldn't have been able to sell out the arenas, but maybe you would have. I don't know. Frank Brescia, this is a true head of Rush right here. That was the Palladium on 14th Street, which I think became, I'm not sure what that ended up becoming. Anyway. All right, so that's my first issue. My second issue is I don't know why it's controversial that you can't have an alternate opinion to the current herd that Hannikin's killing it, man. She's killing it. I wish I could patent that term because I'd be a freaking millionaire. The way that you weird sheep barking seals are constantly saying she's killing it. The only thing she's killing are two things: the legacy of Rush and all of Peart's parts. Let's face it, most of the people who go to see Rush, they're air drumming. That's one of the famous things of Rush concerts. We're there to hear the fills. Peart knew that. That's why he always played them verbatim as much as he could. Sometimes he would fudge, of course, but very rarely. When you went and saw Rush, you knew that when you did the along with him on 2112 that you were going to get that, and that was part of the excitement. Okay? Let's face it. Annika's not playing the parts. She's adding bass drum notes where they shouldn't be. She's throwing snare drum parts when they shouldn't be. Yeah, well, she's reinterpreting. I don't want a reinterpretation. There's plenty of young musicians who could reinterpret Rush. I don't need to see Geddy and Alex up there at 73 years old reinterpreting. And I can tell something. I'm a pretty good reader of body language. Geddy is not happy with the drumming. I'll tell you that right now. I don't understand why. Maybe he got locked into this thing. Maybe there's some weird psychology. This is strange, but maybe there's some weird shit that she's a German and his mother was in the Holocaust. You never know with psychology with people and the way that they trauma bond to each other. I have no clue. All I'm saying is she's the wrong drummer. And when we watch the snippets, I'll point out what I mean. She's not the right drummer. She's adding things that she shouldn't. I get reinterpreting, but I don't want a reinterpretation. Oh, you're stuck in the my. Yeah, when I see Rush, I want to see Rush. I don't want to see a reinterpretation. And if I do, I don't want to have to like take a mortgage out to do it. So I'm not feeling Annika Nilles. I thought she was amazing as a choice before I heard her. That it was great to take the wind out of the sails of the Rush dorks and the Peart nerds and everybody who wanted to air drum. But now I realize that's the legacy part of it too, and that should have been honored. At first, I was like, nah, Portnoy was the worst choice. No, he was the best choice. and Portnoy, if you ever actually do watch this, which you may, let me tell you something. I know that you put out that statement on Nilles that it was very nice and political. I know you didn't mean a word of it. You had to put that out there. You're pissed that these guys didn't ask you. It would have been first of all, your dream gig. Second of all, you deserved it because you were one of the biggest fighters for Neil Peart back when it wasn't even cool. In the 90s, Rush was not cool. I can tell you that as a firsthand person. This guy kept progressive rock alive. He's an integral part of the Dream Theater management and all of that and direction of that band. Amazing drummer in his own right. Yeah, a little boring and predictable, but he has his sound just like Peart has his sound. But let me tell you something. That dude was ahead. He knew every part. And all of these dorks, if you're honest with yourselves, the Barking Seal contingent, the Annika Killing It crew, all of you out there would be equally happy if Portnoy was up there actually smashing those parts, playing them like you remember. It was all a collective experience, not some weird thing where some drummer is playing something wrong, you know it, but you have to pretend that you like it. And then Alex and Geddy are all doing this constantly patronizing smiles back up to her. The feel is not there. It's wrong. Get one of these amazing drummers. There's a band called The Farewell to Kings. They play on like the mid-level circuit. They play like little theaters. They're amazing. They sound more like Rush than Rush. That drummer does the whole bow tie white shirt thing with his perfect. Tell me how cool it would have been if Neil Peart's R40 kit, the gray DW double bass, if Mike Portnoy was using that. up there. And if the whole thing, you want a tribute to Neil, why don't you start out not with some stupid 7-minute video with you guys doing some comedy routine? That shit got old in 2008. How about just opening with spotlights right on Neil Peart's old kit and do a minute or two of silence just on that while you guys come out? That would have taken down the house. And you know it. So this is just bad all around, bad energy, bad juju, and I'm not liking it. All right. So I'm sure I'll have more to say about Annika as we go along. All right. Well, here's where it gets really, 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 really bad. All right. I'm just going to say it, and I'm going to seem a little distracted for a second while I queue up the tabs that I want to show. All right, so all right, so that's the perfect one that I want to show first. All right, so I picked three songs: Natural Science, Free Will, and Tom Sawyer. And we're only going to watch snippets. We're not going to watch the whole thing. It's no point. But I feel it's important to sit here and actually do a comparison of the best performance of Natural Science that was ever captured on videotape, which is Russian Rio from the R30 tour. Just the intro to that. And then we're going to watch it on the R50 tour. Smooth. Notice how smooth it is. Oh, the way he leaves that note hang. Oh. It leaves a trail of diamonds in a short-lived galaxy. Each microcosmic planet, a complete society. A simple kind of mirror to reflect upon our own. All the busy little creatures chasing out their destinies, living in their pools, they soon forget about the sea. Tasty. Come on, Neil, give it to me. Give me that beat. All right, I think that's enough. We can see there how smooth, how silky smooth that was. Just so grooving, perfectly timed, tempo, amazing. And fluidity coming off those fingers, the voice playing with his own natural ambiance and echo so perfectly, the phrasing and syncopation of Geddy's voice perfectly meshing within the arpeggios of Alex's beautiful guitar playing. Every time I walk on the beach, I think about this opening, and I don't want to say that I start crying because I don't, but I definitely feel the power of Neil's words. As Colby says, this song blew my mind. And Shaft says, to be balanced, every Boomer adjacent band has their version of this shit. Yeah, true. But we're talking about Rush, and hopefully you're still here, Shaft. So yeah, so let's take a listen to how this same song is sounding. We'll do the same part, and we'll hear Annika's playing. So let's listen to how they're playing it now. When the end the longer our shoreline, it leaves a trail of time. They're not even in sync. In a short galaxy, each micro their planet, it completes a science. Not for nothing, but you can hear these guys are old now. Like, you can hear that creakiness of old men. It's not what I wanted to see. It's a mirror to reflect upon our own. All the busy little creatures chasing out their destiny, living in their pools, they soon forget about us. Where'd that come in? All right, let's listen to the Annika. All right, this part's all right. Oh man, that's what. Yeah, I get it. He's definitely adjusted, but if he wasn't up there, Colby, trying to do this, he wouldn't have to adjust it, and I wouldn't have to be seeing this performance. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. We're going to see Alex's solos and Tom Sawyer and Free Will. But yeah, Annika. So here's my deal with her. It's obvious. First of all, she's not playing the parts correctly. All right, whatever. We could all have our disagreements of that, but her sound is weak. Mike Portnoy, if you're watching this, you know I'm right. She just doesn't have the dense, thick musculature and bone structure and bone density and sheer physical heft and size of Neil Peart, putting all that energy into the drum heads. It's just a physical thing. It has nothing to do with her being female. It's just a physical thing. And then it's like the drums, like, look at what she's using. She's using these minal cymbals that have no high end to them. And everything sounds muffled. And Peart had issues with his sound for many years. Really, after he got his DWs, in my opinion, he sounded like shit ever since then. But in either case, that's another issue. All right, so let's listen to, let me take that off, and let me cue up our next snippet, which is just going to be a very short one because I think it makes the point. And this, of course, is a live video of Tom Sawyer, and I'm going to get to the solo because I think that's what the most important part is. All right, so we'll take it from here. What? Huh? All right. So anybody who's a true head of Rush knows that that was just an abomination. And this goes beyond, let me tell you something. This goes beyond just making an error. I was at Jones Beach in 2000 on the Vapor Trails tour when they royally, colossally effed up Distant Early Warning. But it never sounded like that. They were able to keep it together somehow. This was just bad. I mean, he lost his timing. The solo was nowhere near what it was sounded like on the record. And the thing is, it has that old sound to it. It's like old people have like a smell to them. It has like a sound to it. It's old. So who knows what's going on? I heard that Geddy was real angry about this. People were saying he was pissed off at the at that, and he was pissed off for the rest of the song. And maybe that informs what we're going to talk about a little later. Again, just my speculation. But let's listen to his solo in Free Will and see how that sounded. Again, iconic solos that need to be performed at their highest level. All right. All right. Yo, you notice his shaking hands? No, Alex. Again, drummer lacking total power. But yeah, I mean, look, I don't want to dunk on this guy, maybe, but it seems as if this is not just the one-off. Like this is happening consistently over shows. And to have this happen consistently over shows, only 8 shows into the tour, that does not bode well, in my opinion, for the rest of this tour. Now, here's where we're going to get into real heavy duty controversy in terms of Rush. So hold on. So Colby said, I like that. It's a little different. Yo, I'm going to put in the link if anyone wants to call in. Let me do that real quick. Invite, copy. In the chat is the link if anybody wants to call in, and please do. I'd love to speak to some new people about a different topic. Now, my issue is not that it's different. I wouldn't have a problem with that, but it was completely out of tune. Like, I don't even think he was playing the right key. And he was flailing there. I mean, his hands were shaking in the middle. And I'm not talking about his vibrato. If you go back and watch that in the beginning, his hands are shaking. So here's one of my things, okay? This is just my thing. I came up with this on my own because I realized that these guys have lied to us as fans. And they've done it consistently for years, okay? The first one, of course, was Geddy saying we can't be Rush without Neil. All right, I'll forgive him for that. He got the itch to go out back on tour and play. I probably would too, you know. Number 2, they lied about Neil's cancer. They lied to their fans by omission, and they actually said, Geddy wrote in his book that they lied to a lot of their friends about Neil during that whole 3-year period. Now, listen, I want to preface that, quantify that statement or qualify it by saying, I get it. Neil was a private person. He did the long-awaited stranger and all that. This guys wanted to keep it private. They did, but you lied. I mean, you lied. I mean, what do you want me to say? I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, I could excuse the action the reason for it. I can excuse that, but you still lied. You lied. So I just have to wonder if things are rosy now. Like, what was up with this freaking Mexican incident where they couldn't get across the border? What was that true? Now Geddy Lee is allegedly sick with bronchitis and laryngitis. I don't know that that's true. They already lied about one illness, Neil's cancer. They lied by omission to the fans, making us all like drop everything we were doing on January 10th, 2020. That was really the start of the shittiest year ever. And it came out of nowhere and shocked us all. So like, what's the deal now? Is Geddy really sick? What's going on? Is there dissension in the ranks? Was he pissed off at Alex enough at those performances to be like, yo, I'm not doing this anymore. We got to figure out a way out of this. Just let's tell them that I'm sick and we can't continue. Like, we don't know. I can't give them the benefit of the doubt as being good people anymore because you lied to me, Geddy. I understand the reasons, but you lied, and once bitten, twice shy. I'm not necessarily going to believe you anymore now that I read your book and I know kind of how you operate. Kiss, I always give Kiss Frank the because they're just so much more lovable, and they don't hide it. They are just like, yo, we want your money. We're getting you going and we're getting you coming and all of that stuff. I just watched actually a great interview today with Bill O'Reilly and Gene Simmons. It's amazing. I mean, this guy, Gene Simmons, is a truly wise person. I know that's going to make me a lot of enemies, but I actually do agree with that statement. So, so I have some issues with this. Rush, please stop. You haven't even been able to make it 8 dates into your original run, which was only like 12 dates. How you going to get through 88 dates with all this travel and stress on the voice? If you do have bronchitis and laryngitis, you're 73. You're going to get over that? And what's to tell me that it's not going to happen again? Colby entered the studio. Yo, Colby, my man, I'm going to give you like 30 seconds because there's a delay between YouTube and now. While I'm introducing you, please turn off your YouTube because it creates a delay, and I'll put you on in about 30 seconds. So anyway, it's cool. We got a person calling in from the chat. And I'm hoping this actually starts a new conversation out there because from what I've seen in Rushland, and that gets me to my next topic, their oddly uber conformist fan base. But I'm going to save that but let's get Colby in here. So may I introduce to you a man who I have no clue who he is, and I hope he's a friend. But if not, hopefully we'll have a civil conversation. The one, the only, Colby. How you doing, brother?
Hey, man. How you doing? I love your show, brother.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate it. Hope
Yeah, it's great. Been watching you for like the last 2 years or so, and
oh, okay, because I've never seen your name before.
Yeah, I was in there a couple times, and I'm actually good friends with Mike Channels on the West Coast.
I don't know who that is.
He was Charlie Manson's buddy in prison, and I follow that case quite a bit, so I'm in that community a lot over on the West Coast, and I go out there. Past few years I've been out there, so I'm into the whole true crime thing. And one of my first forays into it was the Son of Sam thing when I was about, 25, 30 years ago, and I got really into that.
With Maury Terry's story?
I can't remember the book I read. This was a long time ago.
It had to have been The Ultimate Evil.
Okay, shit. Well, it didn't talk too much about all the cult stuff and all that.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe
so I think it was the one before it.
Klausner wrote a book called 44, and it was just kind of like the official book. It came out in about 1980, I think.
I think it was probably that one. And I never bought all the conspiracy crap like I don't with anything. But
so Rush.
yes, I saw them in '83 on the Signals tour, in '86 on Power Windows. And I loved it. And I got into them when Moving Pictures came out. And I was like 13. And then I bought Permanent Waves, which blew my mind too. And, it's funny because I admire what Rush is doing now. I think it's cool. I'm a musician also, probably like yourself, right? And I understand you get that itch to play again and stuff. I think Geddy's made some good moves with his voice and realizing his limitations and working within that window of his limitations. And I think they're all still, I think they're great. All of them, all two of them. Right. And, but yeah, it's a little old, man. I want to hear something different. I would like to hear these guys, and I know prog rock bands are more like stick to the record. I'd like to hear them improv more. They can do that, Like why aren't you doing like a whole jazz fusion album, for God's sake, or something?
Also, and also like in terms of their set list, I mean, take out Tom Sawyer, take out Limelight and Free Will. Obviously, they can't play them to like the high levels, and it's like put in more of the mid-tempo late 80s stuff.
Yeah, and like I'd like to hear more. I mean, they busted out some more obscure tunes in the years. I like it when they do Losing It, or something like that.
But I'm kind of liking your idea, Cole, because it's like, why be so precious about it? Just Alex and Geddy should just put out an album, right? Maybe call it Rush if you want, but then
Rush
do
2.0.
whatever. Right, do whatever you're doing now, even with Annika, but don't like start. I don't know, man. Like I'm so torn.
Yeah, I'm with you, because Neil Peart was such an integral part of that band.
Right, exactly. I mean, without him, these guys would still be playing the bars after their 9 to 5 jobs.
Yeah, they'd be like the John Rutsey band forever.
Right. So anyway, Colby, hey, you have anything else to add before I move on?
Other than that, I love your show. And if you want to turn into Back Porch Tapes, my friend Michael Channels over there has a lot of info on Manson family related stuff. And he does a smash up job. He's like the version of you over there.
All right, cool.
And, yeah, man, I love your show, and just keep rocking.
Thanks a lot, Colby. I appreciate the call in, man. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, brother.
So awesome that Colby came in. Anyone else, the links in the chat as well. So I'm going to go out on this one here, because speaking to Colby has calmed me down, has got my inner zen going. I'm a little bit more calmer. And it's probably good before I talk about this subject. But I mean, I don't know, maybe AI is writing all of these comments in the Rush videos that I see on YouTube, because they're all similar. They're all like the same. Annika killed it. She's not killing it. And anytime you say something, then you inevitably get called a misogynist, right? Like, dude, I thought Rush was the band. I thought Rush was actually like a band for like conservatively minded people, in my opinion. I don't get it, but I guess that's changed over the years. I mean, I kind of got out of Rush in the 90s, got back into them heavy after Vapor Trails, and then lost all interest except for Far Cry, which I think is a brilliant song lyrically and musically, and a few other tunes. But anyhow, what's up with you people? How come like we're not allowed to have another opinion? There's this guy named 0 Point Giant who was the first one to stick his neck out, and his videos are only getting seen by, I don't know, 50, 60 people. And the guy's a little wacky. I have to say, I've made a few comments on his videos. It's kind of an off-putting dude, but he's on point about what he's saying. He's railing against Annika and how she's not playing the parts correctly and how she doesn't even seem to care, and how like that's taking away such a huge part of the experience for the fan. And then but then the fans are defending it, right? And that's what's weird, because I know, because you guys are so conformist, I know that if Portnoy was up there, you would be equally as happy. But in reality, you would be truly happy, because then it would really be a celebration of Peart, one of his biggest fans, getting the chance in the throne with the two kings of prog rock. It would have been amazing. Instead, now we have to sit through this slog where we have to hear her not play the parts correctly, pretend that it's okay, have our favorite parts of the songs and fills completely butchered, leave feeling oddly empty, having to see these two guys up there with patronizing smiles, constantly looking at her as if, I don't know what the deal with that is psychologically. What else? Terrible singing. Alex's hands are not working. Now Geddy Lee is allegedly sick. I don't know whether that's true or not. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. I guess, again, time will tell. In a week, they could come out and they can start kicking ass, and in which case I'll look like a fool. But I have a feeling that I'm going to touch a nerve if people made it to the end of this video, and maybe we can get the conversation changed enough to maybe not stop this tour, because, again, if these guys want to do it, God bless them. But let's change it in such a way where we're not having to listen to Tom Sawyer and Limelight and Free Will. Throw in Open Secrets. Throw in the lighter tunes, Tears, Rivendell, whatever you got to do if you're going to keep on going out there. But or Alex, I don't know, man, lay off the constant pot use, because your hands are not working with your brain properly. And I actually shouldn't laugh about that, because with I have two parents that are very elderly, and because I'm observed them over the years and how they progressed, I'm actually worried about Alex, not for nothing. But that's it. That's really all I have to say. So thanks to everybody out there who watched. Thanks to all the great people in the chat. Thanks to Colby for calling in. And we will see you on the next episode of the Grossman Files. Take care, everybody.